Welcome to another episode of the Lions Den. My name is Damian Johnson.
You already know, Keno being on the billing.
Devin Lee.
Um, Fellas, you already know this is the Lions Den, man. We talk about any and everything. We don't really shy away from any particular topics. We approach every topic with why are you laughing, though? I messed up?
Nah.
We approach every topic with a level of respect. And this one, because it's going to be about the conversation derived from someone's livelihood, their personal life. Before we even get into it, I think it's fair to say that we don't know all the details about what's going on with in their lifestyle, in their life. We can only go by what the media is reporting, but it's just we use that situation to have a conversation about fraternizing at work. And the situation that we're talking about is somebody help me with the pronunciation of his name.
All I know him as is Udaka.
Is that how you say it?
Udaka.
The Boston Celtics head coach. Brother, that's the safest way. Everybody knows.
So we're talking about the Boston Celtics head coach.
I'm Udaka. I'm too sexy for but his name is I'm Udaka.
Okay, we're talking about Mr. Udaka and the situation that he's caught up in. He was, for those who don't know about it, he was suspended for a whole year by the Boston Celtics for fraternizing at work, and he is engaged to Nia Long.
Married, bro.
Married?
Yeah, they got kids and everything.
No, they're engaged.
They're engaged, bro.
What you mean?
They're not married.
Oh my bad.
I'm like,
According to what I read, they've been engaged
they got
since
kids, though.
2015.
They
They
got-
got one.
Oh,
She has a son before him.
Yeah, you're right. She do
Yeah.
that. So they got okay.
So-
blended family.
so we're not going to talk about that. We're not going to talk about their life. We're just going to use that situation about fraternizing at work. Me and Keno got into a debate about fraternization in the workplace. His mindset is, or his thought is, it's dumb for a company to have the policy of no fraternization at work. You weren't here for this one.
Nah.
So before we get into it, you want to read the definition of what fraternization is, correct?
So, yeah, we want to look at fraternization as it relates to in the workplace. It says it occurs when two people employed by the same company interact socially outside of work and at employer functions. Depending on your company's policy, fraternization can include romantic relationships between managers and subordinates and relationships between coworkers.
Okay. So I don't even remember how we got on the topic. Do you remember?
No.
I don't remember how that, but it turned it, me and his debates get heated sometimes. So again, his standpoint is, I'm going to let you speak for yourself.
So, fraternization, I think, it's kind of dumb in a sense. And then I'm going to tell you. The reason why I say it's only an issue if it's like direct supervision, and like a manager versus an employee. And just to make reference a little bit to, the Boston situation is, I don't think it should be an issue because this man don't supervise this chick or she don't report to him. It's not like I was telling Damien, it's not like he's a head coach of a females basketball team and he's involved with a player and everybody knows she suck, but she constantly gets game time.
Boy, I'm going to need you to choose another word.
Everybody knows she's not good. No, not good.
Okay.
Okay? So everybody knows she's not good, but she constantly gets game time. Then where I can see like favoritism comes into play. You see what I'm saying?
I got you.
In that sense, I think it's illegal or it's wrong or it's against company's policy. But when you work at an organization, bro, and a lot of people can relate, it's basically your home away from home. You spend sometimes a lot of times at work versus you do at home. So you end up building relationships, meeting new people. You happen to spark an interest in a particular coworker. And you're telling me because of a company's policy, I can't take it further? You see what I'm saying? So as long as I think it don't affect your work environment, like if you work in a separate department, I'm cool with it. As long as no favoritism or no direct supervision comes into play. What you think, Devin?
So
Okay.
before you your standpoint, I'm gonna give you my standpoint so you can see why we got into the
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
why
Yeah.
we
Yeah.
got into the debate. So I tried to tell him I understand where he's coming from, but my I don't see nothing wrong with it either. But from a business standpoint, I'm explaining to him that it's a bad look for the company because if something goes wrong, now you're messing around. The company has to answer questions that aren't related to business. You know what I'm saying? Now the Boston Celtics are getting in this situation. They're getting ready to prepare for a season, but now they got to answer media questions about what's going on in your company. You know,
Affects the
X Y
locker
Z.
room.
Exactly.
Hmm.
It can, and we know it
It's
happens,
not professional.
right? So this is where the debate came in.
Right.
But to your point,
I mean, on a Celtics scale, it's it's tough because versus like a regular job where you work at, I don't know, Staples or wherever, Walmart, somewhere like that. But on a scale where you have the Celtics, it's unprofessional, it affects the locker room, the media's gonna eat it up. So you just don't want that, affecting your locker room, affecting your players. Those players shouldn't have to answer to that coming off of a bad game because the first thing they're gonna ask Tatum is, do you think that, you know, um, how was your coaching tonight? So they know how to lead up to get to.
But my thing is, he's not involved with a player though.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. He's involved, so then they're gonna blame it on the coaching. Oh, well, you guys should have called the timeout. You guys, da 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 da. Do you think that his mind was elsewhere? How do you feel about your coach? Da, da, da. So you don't really want that on your players. Players making all this money, and then they got to worry about playing LeBron and their coach. You know what I mean? Hooking up with somebody in the front office or somebody's, you know,
But the thing is, before it went public, was it affecting his game time?
we don't
Who,
know. We
who's
don't
game
know.
time?
Affecting the team, you
The
mean?
team, yeah.
We don't know. We don't know that. But at the end of the day, you just don't want that to leak out. You rather, cut it off at the knees, um, and just dissolve the whole thing. Now, going to like a regular job where you got two employees, maybe two cashiers, might be dating. That's a little different. But again, like you said, management where you got a supervisor or manager dating a frontline employee, yeah, that's bad because then you got the whole favoritism, more time if you want to like where you get time every week for work or your pay. You just don't want anybody
Any negative
saying,
attention,
yeah,
man?
negative attention. And then it goes into sexual harassment. You have two employees or supervisor dating a frontline employee, and the next man or woman might not like how they are with each other on the job, and they go to HR, sexual harassment. They have every right to. It's really unheard of, but they actually can do that, and they'll be in trouble. The company will be in trouble. That person can sue and actually have a case. So that's why companies don't really, even down to the little guys, don't really like that too much unless it's like frontline employees. They can't really do nothing really about that unless it becomes a big issue where other employees around them are complaining that they are too friendly with each other or they're hugging and kissing on the job. Then that's something for leadership to come and talk to them about. But like you said, leadership down to frontline employees can't happen.
So let me ask you a question. Was it fraternization when, because for those who don't know, one of the ladies he was messing around with is actually the wife of the VP of finance. So it's not wasn't that fraternization when the VP of finance got married to her because they both work for the company? Wasn't that fraternization?
Well, we don't know how they got married. He could have met her before he started working there.
Don't matter. They still work for the same company.
No, but it does matter because if I met you before and I end up marrying you, and then I end up getting hired by that company, you can't hold me accountable for that.
No, y'all can't actually work
That's what I'm
in the
saying.
same like if she is underneath of him,
But we don't know
um,
her position as well.
her position. Yeah, if her position is underneath this guy, then they can't be married and work. Like it's
And
No, I know
this,
that's a
they
this,
conflict
can't,
this, which
they can't,
conflict of interest.
they
this,
can't be in the same department. No, I get that, but this is what I'm saying. We don't know
but this leads to my original question.
But yeah, we
The
don't know
coach- but
what
the coach
departments
and
they are
her-
in. though.
correct.
The coach and this chick is not in the same department.
Yeah, but again, it goes back to what Devin just said, dog. It's about the negative.
It's a negative vibe.
It's the negative impact it can
Uh,
have on the team. You got to understand. Like I was trying to tell you,
It's
when
it's the public perspective too. It's the public eye. You know what's going to be said about the team. What's going to be, you know what I mean? Because a lot of things drive. It's not about just going out there and winning a chip. You know what I mean? You got to be liked. You know what I mean? You got to be that household franchise. You know. Now this is not going to affect a legacy team like the Boston Celtics. You know what I mean? But you just don't want all of that in the media at
Facts.
all. You don't want a Lakers scandal. You don't want the Phoenix Suns scandal. That falls under the same line, even though one is not even remotely close to the next. It's still bad publicity on the team, and that's what they don't want.
when you a $1 billion franchise, you do everything to keep stuff out of the media.
But it was
Now-
the Boston Celtics who leaked the information.
Now, with that being said, I think they did that to make an example out of him because somebody typed that you're knocking down my wife, so now I gotta embarrass you. That's my opinion. Again,
Man, scoring.
is my opinion
He
100%
might have
valid?
just
I don't
leaked
know.
And
He
they
might have
had
what?
to justify. He might have just leaked it out.
So,
he
so
might have.
somebody was telling me that how he found out it was actually from the Ring doorbell. I don't know if y'all heard that part.
Nah, I didn't hear that part.
So I don't know. I don't know how true
the,
that
the
is.
story of what I read was he started, like, I guess female, because it's two chicks. For those who don't know, it's actually two chicks that he was messing around with at the team. So one of them was, I guess she wanted to end it, and he started making unwanted, like, moves towards her, and it created a scene. And that's when he led the organization to investigate it, because I guess she was like, like trying to ignore him, trying to walk away, and shit like that. So
Okay. I mean, so again, there's a lot of allegations out there, and once again, it's always fair for us to say that we don't know the inner details because we're not there. But it just about the conversation of fraternization, though, it's one of them things where it goes back to the company's policy. They either strongly discourage it or they say no fraternization because of situations like this. The last thing you want to do is to have to answer questions that has nothing to do with the business that you're trying to operate.
But I'm, like I said, bro, like, to each his own. Because
But bro, if you
you start working at a job, you see a bad little shorty that you like, bro. No fraternization. What you gonna do? You start communicating, nice vibe, nice character, nice personality, everything, and you say, all right, let's give this a chance. You gonna quit to try to date her?
But that goes back to what I'm saying. Most companies, we're both frontline workers, or base salary, however you want to look at it, entry level workers. We're not part of leadership. I'm not part of leadership, and she's a frontline worker, or vice versa. Until you get to that point, until you get that promotion, then you really got to make a tough decision. Like, all right, well, I have to then transfer to another location, and you can stay here, or you got to transfer to another location so that we can make our relationship works if it's that strong. Or maybe we just say, hey, we just to save our job, we had a good run, and just cut it off. Or keep that shit on a damn hush and don't act like you don't know each other like that. Now
So it's fraternization when you get caught.
100%.
Anything is wrong. Anything is wrong.
Nobody got to know
you get
who
caught.
you're dating unless you put it out there, or unless one of y'all put it out there.
That's my boy Damon right there.
What?
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Listen,
I only want him to repeat what he just said because I
I ain't him.
I know what he said. I know he's trying to insinuate something, and I'm not even gonna repeat that because that's nobody's business.
Bruh.
But go ahead.
Nah, I mean, but it's true though. It's true. I mean, like I said, the only way somebody gonna know is if it's publicized at some point or it's
So this is the example.
picked up on.
I gave him this example, right? And again, it's a little extreme, but let's say a teacher, right? Remember the example? Let's say there's a teacher. Teachers are allowed to have downtime, right? But they also have to be careful because they can run into one of their students' parents at any point. So let's say you got a child and you go to the bar and your son or daughter teacher is on stage twerking. You take a picture. Now the school board has to answer questions about that. On one hand, the teacher is enjoying herself on her downtime.
First of all, Poppy ain't no
But-
snitch, so I'm not taking a picture. I'm not.
Well, you
I'm not taking a picture and post. I'm not that guy.
you're not, but you get what I'm saying.
No, I understand.
On one hand, the teacher is allowed to have his or her, because we live in 2022.
well,
Allowed to have their downtime. On the other hand, they're a teacher and they're held to a certain standard. But the point is, if it's out there, now the school board or the particular school has to answer questions about why this teacher is doing this.
it was a couple.
know.
It was a couple things that happened like that. Scenarios that happened where teachers have OnlyFans.
Did they get fired?
I think they did let one of the teachers go. She had OnlyFans, and I saw it in two different ladies.
Mm.
They had OnlyFans on the side, you know what I mean,
Mhm.
outside of their personal life. And I guess somebody stumbled across it and put it out there. But again, that's her business. You know what I mean? Like if a teacher was a stripper on the side, like that's her business. I don't have anything to do with that. As long as you teaching my kid, I'm not going to mess
but
up
see-
your money.
But
You won't.
there's also a cop. She was a NYPD. She was also a stripper. They made a big deal out of it.
And that's
They
what I'm
couldn't
saying.
let her go.
Couldn't.
It's not. None of those are fraternizing, but the example I was trying to show him was
Publicity.
it's the negative publicity that now this company or brand now has to answer questions to
I got you.
when this gets publicized.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So when you go back to fraternization, what I was explaining to you, most companies will say we strongly discourage it. But to your point, you can't help when you fall in love with somebody. Again, you spend, depending on the type of job, especially with somebody like the Boston coach, how much hours he spend at work? Sometimes you won't even go home until like after a 16-hour day. You know what I'm saying? So if you're around that person, like you said, you're gonna spark interest, especially if the vibe is good. So they can't say no, don't do it. They just say, hey, these are the policies. If one of these policies are broken, these could potentially be the repercussions. And now, if we now have to turn around and answer questions because you broke our policy, now we're gonna have to discipline you.
So then we got to look at it from a public standpoint. So is it wrong when it becomes public? Because you've seen it based on the workplaces you've been in. A lot of people have relationship with each other. They end up getting married. They end up it being messy, all that stuff. But I'm saying is like, I don't think it should be an issue. It don't matter how public it get. It shouldn't be an issue if it's not direct supervision. That's
But
what I
you-
have an
but
issue
you,
with.
But you ain't looking at it from a $1 billion company standpoint. That's I think that's where you missing it. You're not looking at it from a brand standpoint.
Right.
If the Lions didn't get big to that point where and now
Brian messing with none of y'all.
I
I don't even know where
I
you're
don't even
going.
know.
don't
I
know
was
where you-
hoping he was just going.
Man, listen.
Just hurry up
Can I-
and because it's only three of us on the show. I didn't know where the fuck.
Bruh.
I said, man, when he said because it's like the Lions, man.
first of all,
Well,
can
please get through this
can I-
analogy because
you
this shit
gotta let me
you
finish.
started off wrong.
No, let me.
Please, because you already put it out there, so you got to finish now. Pause.
You, may I finish?
Go ahead.
All right. If it gets to that point, of course we're gonna have staff members
Okay.
that we're gonna have to hire. You know,
Okay.
So that's where I was going with it.
Okay.
If now you and I are both single, if it gets to that point where
What?
me and him, can I finish?
Bro,
Damn.
you taking too long to get to your point, bro.
Never
Now you
mind.
start saying you and this man, both y'all singing. Like, what are you trying to say, though?
Man, get through it.
No,
Get through it, por favor.
never mind.
No, go ahead. No, you have to.
never
No,
mind,
because
never mind.
No, you can't
leave
leave
these
it right
people
there,
like
bro. No.
man, finish your thought, bro.
I'm saying if you and I decide, if they hire a fine chick and one of us go after her, right?
Okay.
And get it. Y'all gotta let me finish, man.
No, go ahead.
Right? And then something happens where it's now affecting the brand of the Lions Den.
If it's
Right.
public.
Right, but I'm saying if it gets to the
It's
point
best
where,
not to. What's the scenario? Eat where you.
eat where you shit.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, it's best to just chill. Like it's so many.
So you're telling me you don't eat at home?
Man, listen. Mute the mic.
And you don't shit at home.
Let
So
me-
you shit where you shit in the street?
Our camera. You want me to mute him?
Yeah, go ahead and mute him because I.
Mute him. Mic 4. Mute. 10 seconds.
For the sake of the brand, I see where you're going with it. For the sake of the brand, because you don't want that woman, that young lady, to come and, like I said, this thing we blow up. You know, you say we got, staff members. I get what you're saying.
We
You
got
staff members.
sponsors. We got all type of
All
stuff
type-
that are willing
and
to
you
now pull a sponsorship because
Right,
of what's
because she
being-
comes out, she wants to publicize, and she wants to nickel and dime us. Yeah, I'm not going to publicize this thing between us if you don't give me, such and such. I need.
Right, you never know how it
every-
goes.
So money
every time
money
y'all
defines who you date. Got you.
Nah, that ain't what
Nah,
I'm saying, bro.
Nah, you missing the whole point. Let's just say you getting the check cut every month. I need a piece of that. I need half of your cut. And well, I'm you know what I mean? Because I shut all this down. You know what I mean? It could go that direction.
What if so let's say we hire a staff member, right? So whatever, an assistant, right? We both go at her and we both start knocking it down. And then she decides to call rape. You know what kind of negative attention that is for a brand that has sponsors?
Did you rape her?
No, but you still got to. Oh Jesus, man! But you still don't want.
No Kano slow.
You got to answer questions about stuff that has nothing to do with what we're working towards. You get what I'm saying? Nobody's saying that you shouldn't do it. It's highly discouraged or frowned upon because of what the backlash can be if something goes down. Again, the teacher, I think that's always been an issue. Even when I used to be a teacher, they always say, be careful because you never know where you're going to run into somebody's parents at.
Right.
And then you run into that Karen parent
Mhm.
that feel like this is who's teaching my child, and they start recording stuff. It gets back to the school. Now you could potentially lose your job
Right.
on my downtime. I agree.
Bro, it
That's not
depends on what you're doing,
fraternization.
bro.
Correct. It's not fraternizing.
No,
but
it
it's the
depends
example
on
of
what it can be perceived as too.
correct. Because now you got to go answer questions, and the school is about what? Educating students. But now we got to worry about this man out here on stage in the club and whatnot.
Magic Mike in it.
You know
But
what I'm
but my
saying?
thing is, what if on record you got the best grades, bro? You
Don't
students
matter.
got the highest percentage.
Don't matter. All that go out the window, champ.
So you telling me you start your own company, right? What's something that you've dreamt about starting for years as a child? You said when I get money, I want to do this as a child. I want to start this business to impact the world in this type of way. You're not gonna have certain policies in place,
Of course, that's what I'm saying.
and then when something happens that now puts that brand in jeopardy because now you're losing sponsors, you gonna want to answer those questions?
Now I'm saying if you gonna be messy and it's gonna affect the workplace, that's different. But if y'all cordial and professional about it, it shouldn't be an issue.
Yeah, but we're going by the word if.
And it goes
But
in
what
both
happens-
scenarios.
but what
If
happens-
it gets messy,
Right.
or
But
if
you,
it
but
remains.
you have to think about it that way though.
It's better to be safe than sorry.
Correct.
Better to be safe than sorry. I'm not rolling that
You
dice.
can't sleep with a janitor, bro.
I'm not rolling that dice. I'm
You
not doing it.
single.
I'm not.
The janitor
I don't
bad,
care
dog.
if the chick is parking my car every morning. I'm not. I don't care what she. It doesn't matter what her position is on the job. I'm not rolling that dice, especially if I built the brand and I'm working towards something. I'm not going to jeopardize or put my company in a bad light behind, you know,
10
my
minutes.
That's what you say now.
my my needs and wants.
That's what you say now until you staying back at work, closing up, and she end up in the office. That same trench coat that you talking about.
Hey, listen.
Nah, bro.
I mean, and it's not to knock anybody that does it because, again, to your point, you can't help where you develop love interest. You know, especially if you spend a lot of time together, it's gonna happen.
Again, like piggybacking off that, you could develop that relationship and then that could be your wife. Now, yeah, she was once this, that, and the other, the secretary, front desk, and now she's your wife. Yeah, they gonna talk crap about you in the office, but at the end of the day, that's your business. That's your
But how's
business.
she gonna become your wife when there's no fraternization, though?
But that's what I'm saying. Like, if there was I'm playing off what you're saying. If you do entertain that, but you got to make sure that you got that's a fine line because if you do go that direction, you got to make sure that thing work out. And if you don't know if it's not gonna work out, if you just playing, if you don't know, like I'm not gonna talk to her, I'm not dating her with intentions, then don't do it. It just don't make sense.
And I think if she gets married, anyways, again, if it's the same department, somebody's gonna have to leave.
Oh, she probably
Yeah,
gonna,
'cause it's the second
she
time.
gonna be taken out. More than likely, when you see situations like that, the man takes out the game anyway.
Yeah,
You know, boom.
yeah. You still feel it's a dumb policy.
Yeah.
Unless he makes her or she makes him. Let's not be biased.
Right.
Co-owner, then they can't really say. Nobody can really say anything. You know what I mean? But I mean that's a reach.
Yeah, I mean, Keno ain't gonna change his mind.
Yeah,
he's not.
I'm just saying, be professional about it. If it's messy, then we gonna have to sit in the office and talk about it. Then we determine if
Bro,
you're still employed or not.
You think it's so easy. That's what it is. He think it's so like ABC, and
But
it
that
ain't.
shit going on every day in every workplace.
And,
bro.
and look at the struggles every day and every work. It's just a matter of time. It's a ticket
So
time.
you're telling me this shit ain't happening right now? New York Knicks?
It happens.
It
Miami
happens in
Heat
every organization, every company.
Stephen A. said that because when he was talking about it, Stephen A. Was saying that he knew 3 people last year that got fired. I don't think he mentioned the teams or whatever, but he was upset. Like, why is what's his name?
Boston head coach.
Yeah, he was upset. Why is this being publicized? Why is he getting drugged through the mud? Because 3 people last year that got fired because of it, and that wasn't publicized. So why this one? Right, which is why I was telling you there's more to the story that wasn't being said. And of course, as time goes, more will come out. That's not condoning his actions. We're not chastising him either. We're just using this as a conversation piece. I think it's fair for us to say that again for whoever tunes in to watch the show. Nobody's condoning nor chastising anybody. We're just talking about fraternizing at work. But it's one of them things where, again, you gotta be very careful. You gotta be careful because when you work hard to build something, the last thing you want to see is somebody, because of love interest, tear it down.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Nobody's saying that you can't do it. You got to be careful.
I mean, yeah. But it's that 50-50. Do you want to even take that chance? And if you do,
Yeah,
you got to know the repercussions behind it. That's
correct.
it.
Anyway, we want to hear from the people. What y'all think, man? If you do know the situation, well, damn the situation. Just fraternizing at work. What do you think?
Right. Yeah.
Have you done it? How did it turn out? Hey, tell us some stories so we can
give us
talk
some
about that too.
scenarios,
Give us some
man.
scenarios. Tell us how it turned out so we can turn around and either crack jokes or discuss it on the show. But Yeah, Keno feels how he feels.
Give it your heart. Give us your horror stories. Give us your love stories.
Correct.
Give us whether it turned out to be a whole comedy show. Let us know what happened. We love to hear from y'all. You know.
And as always, we appreciate your support. We ask for your continued support. Most importantly, we need you to hit this button right here. You go to YouTube, hit that subscribe button. Hit that subscribe button. Help us grow our followers. It's growing slowly but surely, and we just got to continue doing our work. Thank you for tuning in. Repost.
This man
comment.
still gonna end the show without my dad joke.
Okay, go ahead. My fault.
Damn.
My fault. You gotta remind me though.
And he knows these shit so good, dog. Like, come on, bro. People look
I don't
forward
know
to
that.
this.
I'm
glad you spoke up.
People do look forward to it, but I don't know that big good. But I do apologize, my brother. Go ahead.
All right. What kind of socks do Grizzlies wear?
Hold on. Let me give you your camera time so you could ask the question again. Go ahead.
What kind of socks do Grizzlies wear? Nothing. They got bare feet. Yeah. Look at that.
You know what?
Look at that.
That was actually a catchy one, dog. I can't even front. I'm not laughing as hard because
That's good. That's all right.
It was
all right.
It was catchy.
Yeah, it was all right.
It brought a chuckle to me.
All right.
It brought
That's
a
what's
chuckle
up.
to
That's
me.
what's up.
I gotta give you credit for that one.
Salute, my brother. Salute.
Yo, once again, man, my name is Damian Johnson.
Yeah, you know, Keno being in the building.
And leave.
Boy, we're on the Lions Den. Peace out.